Hi, everybody. Randy Weddle with Creation Anew, and we are talking about making a better, um, making more effective use of our Bible study time. Being able to study the Bible in a better way to know Christ better, and you can see this series of videos online. We have talked about the essentials that it takes to begin a Bible study. We have talked about doing an overview of a book of the Bible because we recommend that you read through, as a daily habit, you're reading through Scripture. And you can read about 4 chapters a day and you'll get through the Bible in a year. If you want to take 2 years, if you want to take longer, that's fine. You can do that. But you want to consistently read through the Bible to get an overview of the whole book of the Bible, but then you want to zero in and do Bible studies on one book of the Bible. So we're talking about zeroing in on that one book of the Bible, and we have talked so far about doing an overview of the book, reading through and asking questions about the book to find out more about what's inside this book. What is it trying to tell us? And by the way, the question that that is over everything whenever we are studying the Bible is, what is the author's original intent? This means that it when we interpret the Bible, and we can get into this, Lord willing, later, but when we interpret the Bible, it's not what we think, what we want, what we feel, it's what the Bible is saying. So that's what we're trying to shoot for here. Everything that I'm telling you is an attempt to try to get us to be able to study the Bible to find out what the Bible is saying, not what we hope or want it to say. So after you start, you've done an overview and you're starting in a verse by verse study. You look at, say, the first verse of the first chapter, and we talked about trying to make sure that we understand the vocabulary to define the words that we're reading so we know what Scripture is actually saying to us. And the tool is a concordance. And so we've got that down. So now what we are ready to do is we're ready to look at what the Bible is saying. So once we've read a verse of the Bible and we have gotten an understanding of the actual words that are used in that verse, we want to think of the context of the verse. And the context of the verse is basically the flow of thought that runs through the book. That's why it's important to ask those questions as we're doing an overview of the book of the Bible. So now we remember, okay, here's the author, here's the message that he was trying to give, here's the original audience, this is what was going on at the time, and we can put that into context with what we are reading in any particular verse. Now, you always want to look at the context around a verse. So if you have portions of a book of the Bible before a verse that you're looking at, or after a verse that you're looking at, you want to get that whole context. You want to see what this particular verse is saying in relation to the rest of the book of the Bible. And then you can take what the book of the Bible that you're studying is saying in context and in relation to the rest of the Bible as a whole. So, this is very, very important. When we look at context, it will help us to not go off the rails and come up with some wild interpretation. So, it's just a step by step process here. So look for the context when you study a verse of the Bible. And if you want to go back and take a look at the essentials that are needed to begin a Bible study and how to do an overview and how to learn the vocabulary and the definition of words that are being used in Scripture, you can take a look at those videos as well. Well, guys, I'm Randy Weddle with Creation Anew. If you have questions, please feel free to contact me. I am at randy@creationanew.com. And the material that I'm taking here and giving to you as far as how to study the Bible comes from a book by R.A. Torrey that is entitled How to Study the Bible. And I will put the link in the description below to get that book. And when you get that book, you are also supporting Creation Anew. I hope you have a great day. Until next time, bye bye.